Yeah, hello there. Welcome to Chris Betts Versus. If you watched last week's, you'll recognize my terrible curtains. It's always a pleasure to perform in front of something that someone probably should have died in and then been rolled up in and then thrown off of a bridge. My name's Chris. This is my favorite thing in the world. We're going to play my comedy game show where I will debate the opposite of anything anyone says. And normally I do it against an audience, but I've decided that since it's locked down again, I'm going to start inviting comedian friends over to play. So today, my opponent is going to be the excellent Jamali Maddix, and the judge deciding our arguments, who argues best, is going to be Max White. Can we please bring them up onto the screen? I got texts. They're doing it. It's coming. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't done a one-on-one before. So normally it's me fighting against about 30 different people, all of them strangers. I have to debate some of the worst things I've ever had to debate.
Boom.
And today, I get to fight against my friends who I know for a fact have horrific thoughts and will just say terrible things. So a little bit.
At a drop of a hat.
Dude, a little bit of the pressure's off. I feel good.
Like with no prompting, I'll say something horrible. Like minimal prompting.
That's a fact. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a comedian make so many people as angry as you have, Jamali. You are the most heckled comedian that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm not even saying nothing that controversial.
I know you're just not likable. That's your problem.
Yeah, I got a real unlikable face. People don't want to hear my opinions, which is, understandable and fine.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I disagree. I love your goddamn opinions, but
thanks so much.
More than that is watching people be furious at your opinions. That's my favorite thing.
Even when I said that thing about the Queen and the woman that stood up and went, no.
Literally stood up out of her chair and just didn't even have anything on. No. It's just that. Yeah. All right, so we got Jamali Maddix, excellent comedian, host of Hate Thy Neighbor, soon to be on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, No Doubt. I'm sure.
Is that a real show?
Yeah, it's a real show over here.
You guys got great shows there.
Yeah, man, they lock celebrities up on islands and they just fear factor each other until they fucking get out of there.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of testicles eaten. It's they really have no respect for the fame ladder in this country.
Okay.
So we got Jamali, excellent British comedian, and then our judge is the excellent Max White, based out of New York. You in Brooklyn right now?
I'm in Brooklyn right now, man.
How's it going there?
It's weird. It's been weird. It's like a suspended animation. You guys are about to go back in lockdown.
Yeah.
We have Florida, and Florida's still having full-on concerts, and it's horrifying. Yeah,
fucking
it's pretty horrifying. I think we're for first place for once, actually, but in deaths and pure assholeness when it comes to taking care of this virus. So yeah, it's been splendid.
I kind of respect it though. It's like there's evidence to say people are dying and it's just like, fuck it, we're having fun.
I mean, at least for once we're finally number one and we're not lying. Like we're really fucking taking the someone asked me if I was a pussy to my face in Washington like 3 days ago because I was wearing a mask. The guy goes, "What are you, a fucking pussy?"
Wow.
It's an honest question.
Great. That's great. Yeah. And what do you say? Just
Honestly, I think you both know me enough to know that I'm pretty quick on the. I had nothing. I just started laughing. That was so funny because it's like, I mean, objectively, like, I am afraid of killing old people. So I am a pussy, right? This guy was not.
That's how we used to thrive: is we kill our old people, move on down the line. And
I know. I don't have it in me. I don't have the killer instinct.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're an artist.
I know.
Okay, so you guys remember how this works. Jamali and I, we're going to argue opposite sides of something. Max, you're going to decide who argued best and just sort of jump in and call us on our bullshit. That sound good to you guys?
Copy. Sounds good.
All right, cool. Oh, Max, did you get that speed round list?
I did not. Is it via?
I sent it to Facebook.
Looking, and I got it.
Perfect. It's just a bunch of random words.
Got it. Okay.
All right, so let's get going. So the first round is oh yeah, just before we do this, sorry, I'm still getting used to streaming, is if you want to comment, if you got any thoughts on the argument or anything that you want to add in, comment under the stream and we'll read it out. Make sure to follow these guys, Jamali and Max. Other than that, it's very important that you remember that just because we say something on the show doesn't mean we mean that thing, all right? The whole point is to say fucking nonsense. So when I tell you that women all over the world owe Donald Trump a debt of gratitude, you can understand that that's not how I feel inside. All right, so we're going to start the show. The first round, I've decided with this one-on-one thing, is just going to be, what's going on? Jamali, it's a fucking crazy world, so unload on me. What have you been thinking that you don't understand more people don't think?
I don't, do you know, because I think lockdown as well is since lockdown happened, there was like a weird thing of there was no human contact for a long time. And there was a lot of pent up sort of feelings in people. And I want to debate why I think one night stands are a good thing. And I want to understand why you think one night stands are terrible.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I mean, I feel like you fuck more than I do, so I can't. I mean, now.
Chris
I mean,
is
now
married.
You're married.
Yeah.
Everyone
Why don't you
fucks
guys-
more than you. I was living in a monk's covenant, and I was probably fucking more than you.
You guys should reach a little bit more than that. Like, Chris is married, Jamali's not. Happy birthday, Sadaf, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's my wife's birthday.
Happy birthday.
I made her French toast today because I'm a good man.
Yep. See, Jamali, see how you see my point.
and later I'm gonna fuck her, but that's not.
Ew, I don't know why, but when married people talk about it, it's gross.
Yeah. What now?
Wow,
what
you're
now?
a fucking. You're definitely a real man.
You don't even take your shirt off anymore.
So yeah, like, but I was single for fucking ages. I used to do one night stands to greater or lesser success. What do you like about them? Why do you want to champion these things?
I just think not everyone's meant to be loved. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like, not everyone you meet is meant to be like, you're not meant to love everyone that you sleep with. And the idea of not sleeping with someone once and never seeing them again is the idea of what's the antithesis of that? Is it that you're gonna have to be with this person forever? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's two extremes, isn't it? It's not just one thing.
See, I don't think that it's got to be down to those extremes. Like, I understand that not everyone needs to be loved, but not everyone needs to be treated like a fucking cum bucket. You don't have to.
Don't they, Bets?
I hate that I'm writing this down.
You can also just like, I think like my favorite when I was single was like 3. I like 3 night stands because there's the initial one, which is like, normally for me, it was always like a drunken mess where you go out and it's just sort of like fucking shambles. Then the second time is like, it's fun because you kind of get to know each other and you're not as like weird about it. And then the third time it feels like closure. So there's sort of.
But I think like you're what you're defining as a one night stand. You see, that for me is, I think one night stands now are got to be broader. Just what I'm saying? I don't think it's just a linear thing of just that thing that you meet them once, you have sex with them, and then you leave. I think 3 nights, I think that's still classed as a one night stand person.
Nah.
He's talking about doing a weekend in your town. That's exactly what he's saying. It's a one night show. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, because one
Sunday,
night stand now. Yeah, one night stand now has sort of grown in it, and it's sort of evolved into something else. It's evolved into that. A weekend of love. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
and
I don't know, because I've been with my wife now for going on 7 years, and I'm old. I'm a lot older than you as well. So like maybe I'm not up on how new kids. Like, I didn't know choking was in for years. Like, nobody told me. That's how far behind I was. So what is a one night stand for kids right now?
So I think a one night stand is that thing of like that casual. I think anything above 4 is something different, but I think 3 is still within the realm of a one night stand. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got the same energy. I think one night stand now is an energy. It's not necessarily just an act. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah. I would say.
So if this is a terrible question, I thought this would be
no.
more fun and frolic.
Like, here's what, like, because I think
I questioned it wrong. I just mean that energy of like that casual. No more than 3 casual.
No more
thing.
than 3. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that has its place, but also I did that for about 4 years. That was how I lived. And listen, I had a great time. I learned a lot about shortcuts. I figured out how to be blunt and just say I wanted to sleep with somebody. I learned a lot of life skills on it, but also. It just wasn't as fun. What it ended up becoming was I started out having a lot of one night stands, but the sex is never very good. And so it becomes boring. And so what I did was I ended up having like casual relationships with about 4 women at once that would span like 6 to 9 months. See, that's how you do it. It's not about love. It's about just consistency. It's about learning. It's about riding the wave.
Yeah, but what you did was you just had a relationship, like you know what I'm saying. And
we never went on dates. We never hung out.
Yeah, because I remember you in them dates. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah,
and you always had a smile.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Bet's always had this. So it's even this that idea of it is it's like, you know, because I think it's like my thing is that like because some people, especially with the younger generation, like I read this, you know, it's all spanned from an article I read that really pissed me off, and it was kind of like a really clickbaity article. The article said like, you know, casual sex and one night stands is yesterday, and I'm like, decided by who?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's that thing of it's like people sort of demonize one night stands and casual sex, which, you know, but I think they are, you know, they hold a significant place and in a long-term schemes can be a lot better than what you're talking about.
But also the people that demonize one night stands are never people that are having one night stands. They're always people that have heard about one night stands. And so you can't take what they have. Take it from someone who has had a bunch of one night stands. It's fucking boring. Hugh Hefner got sick of it. That guy fucked everybody. And
but it took him 80 years.
No, that's when he told us. That was it. Before that,
you think he was sad before that?
He had a reputation to uphold. You know what I'm saying? But, oh, hold on. We got a comment coming in here. From friend of the show, Ashley Hayden. Ashley says Jamali's changing the goalposts on his own question. Strong start. Which, I mean, you are going from 1 to 3. That's a pretty big.
I'm just because one night stand. I questioned it wrong because I didn't realize I was talking to a layman. Is that is that thing consists of an energy? A one night stand is an energy. It's not just it's a very it's a fluid thing, you know. And I think it goes up to a 3.
See, I think I understand that. So I would say here's the okay. Fair enough. I'll allow it. Within a weekend. We'll call it a weekend. We'll call it a weekend.
Yeah, weekend stand. Because a weekend stand is like, you know, you wouldn't say like, it's like did you know, you'd be like, you know, I had, you know, a weekend. You would still class that as a one night, like a one night stand.
You wake up, you go out to lunch, you come back, you fuck again.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's still classed as the same day because you might not go home.
Okay, sorry, Judge is jumping in here. What the fuck are both of you talking about? A one night stand is one time you have sex and it's done.
All right, then the judge.
A 3-time fucking is a relationship. I'm sorry you become meta, Jamali, talking about energies, but we're talking fucking, leaving, and maybe talking again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that like one night stands are like bumps of coke, man. You can't live like that.
No, one night stands are the new coke problem because you're gonna have to hide them because of COVID. Think about it.
But life is meant to be lived.
Yeah,
but I'm saying,
you need occasional peaks.
And you're gonna
live at that fucking level.
And COVID has made us realize that we're gonna die one day. And if you're, are you gonna die rocking with your cock out, or are you gonna die holding someone's hand overlooking a sunset? That sounds boring as shit.
You can fuck someone in front of the sunset. I don't know what your problem is with sunsets.
No. There are no sunsets in lockdown London. You guys are fucked. It's going to be either one night stand truly and then go get rapid tested, or one night stand energy. Sorry, Jamali, and then cohabitate. That's where we're at right now with your fucking little Zen cup you keep sipping out of.
And I'm actually drinking a herbal tea. Yeah. I've changed. And it's what majority of people aren't worth really interacting with, and I'm one of those people probably. Just what I'm saying though, like I'm not just this, but like, you know, how many people do you really want to have a conversation with?
Yeah, but like, I mean, but you don't. How did you get him into bed in the first place? I mean, maybe my vibe was always like I would talk to women, and then I would just be like, this conversation's going great. How about we go and have sex? And then either say yes or no. And if they said no, we kept talking. If they said yes, we went and had sex. It was pretty simple.
No, that's a married man. That's revisionist history.
No, that's how
a married man looking back at his sexual career.
As well as you're talking about, okay, but if that person, if you're like, I'm having a great time or whatever, and this conversation is lovely, the act of you not seeing them again indicates that you didn't actually want to talk to them. Just what I'm saying,
no, because I tell them
that's why it's perfect that I know I'm never going to see you again.
I just go straight up. I go, this isn't anything. I'm having a good time, and I think it'd be fun if we had sex. And then they either say yes or no, and they say yes, and I go, cool, that was really fun. It was nice meeting you. Take care.
Every nerd thinks that, this is going really great. Would you like to have sex now? Like, no, that doesn't happen in a bar.
It works for years, literally for years.
Because you're a bartender.
Do you know what? I want to debate bets. It really does work for bets.
Yeah.
All right. I don't doubt the game. I'm just saying. I think times have changed since the 90s, buddy.
I'm not that fucking old. Come on, man. But no, I would say, okay, so here's in defense of like being in a relationship as opposed to a one night stand. When I was in a one night stand mode, I was like a junkie. I was just chase every night. You go out, or not every night, but regularly. You know, you go out. I was having sex like business people get hammered. You know, so it's like I'm fine for most of the week, and then for a couple of days, I'm just like, blinders, here we fucking go. This is a problem. I gotta fuck somebody. But now, my day-to-day life is 1,000 times better. Also, guys, this is gonna sound corny as fuck, but being loved is pretty sweet. So that adds a lot. And also, sex is so much more fun when you're married. And that's the thing that people don't tell you, because a lot of people marry people they secretly hate. But if you marry someone that you like and you love, it's fun. You can laugh. There's no stress about not impressing them because they're in. And so you can make a fucking ass out of yourself. You can try stuff and they'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And that's always fun. It's like it adds that third dimension to sex, as long as you didn't marry someone that you hate. You know? I think the argument is one night stands versus like all the weddings that shouldn't have happened, where everyone at the ceremony like didn't talk.
Yeah, and what's the percentages of that?
Oh, huge! But that's
exactly. So that
fault.
indicates
that's not marriage's fault.
No, but it is, because if we're talking about numbers, it would indicate that people who got married, because that whole thing you're talking about is actually a rarity. Yes. So actually, the one night stand is superior.
But that's their fault, because they just have low self-esteem, which was probably brought on by the number of one night stands where they couldn't build a connection with somebody. And so as soon as they built a connection, they were like, "I gotta fucking lock this down." And so that's them settling before they should have, because they were out looking for the wrong things. All right, we're gonna call that one there. Max, what are you saying? That went all over the place. I don't even know if we hit it.
I forgot. I was
sorry,
man. Totally honest.
No, that's not your fault. I was all over the place.
It felt like more fun and frolic when I mentioned it at first, but I apologize. That was a bad question.
Yeah, you could tell by how long of the sip of tea Jamali took was where he was going to go with this argument. I like that. I like that Chris, he did argue both sides of it. He remembered a different time when he was single, looking back. And then he talked about now versus Jamali and I are obviously very one-sided on this subject. Yeah. So in the scheme of being argued both sides, I'm going to give it to Betts.
Yes. All right, 1-0. Perfect. Just found out that my mother and father-in-law have been watching the stream. So great. Great.
Sorry, Mr. Betts. I don't actually believe what I'm saying. I'm just saying it for comical effect. I'm very happy with Betts' marriage.
It turns out it was it's my wife's birthday. So I guess hi, Kamal and Faraday. It's great to see you.
I've heard a lot about you, so that's great. Jamali is the devil.
Jamali did this to me. This is my fault at all. Now they see my stand-up. I would say because it's that's smoking. Don't even worry about it. We're set. Has anyone else just smoking too much now that it's lockdown? I got fucking nothing else to do.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying smoking.
Okay, so my wife I told her, because normally on her birthday, she gets to pick my set list and she just picks the things that will upset people the most. I told her that she's allowed to pick a topic. So I know she's watching right now because she just said, "Tell them I love them and miss their faces." So that's not for the people in the stream. She just loves Max and Jamali. Sadef, what's your topic, sweetheart? What do you got? Here we go. She's not typing. She clearly forgot. So I'm just going to go in and say, here's the thing that I don't understand. And Max, this might hit home for you, but Jamali, you got a lot of experience with this. Why is America burning itself down? What do Americans hate about America? Because I think that sorry, that's too wide ranging. Let's just say, how about this? The people guarding the polls are fucking right. I want you to argue that.
The people what?
The people showing up with AK-47s at the polls are absolutely doing their patriotic duty.
Well, no, I don't think they are.
I could probably take my laptop and walk 2 blocks and find you some if you want to.
Yeah. So explain. So guarding the polls. Are you
Yeah, have you heard about that? So there's like the
explain
Republican guys and the militia guys who are they're literally at the polls just walking around with like AK-47s and shit, and it's basically they're there to make sure that there's no voter fraud. But it's
voter intimidation. Yeah,
it's voter intimidation. But argue
that
that's what they are is actually they're patriots. They're not monsters.
So you think they're good patriots, or you want me to debate?
I want you to argue that side.
Well, that they're good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? You know, I think every American's civic duty is to make sure justice is being served. You know, and you know, in America right now is such a crazy country with all the sort of the left and Antifa. And these, you know, and the university students, you know, sort of trying to sway politics in the way that they want it to be. I think sometimes you just have to put an end to it and go, okay, cool. I'm going to go down there with my AK-47 and shut that shit right the fuck down, you know? And I think that they're good Americans. You know, I think they've got the best T-shirt slogans. And I appreciate what they're doing for democracy.
Do you think it's because I would argue that if they care about voting, it would be more impressive to get voters out as opposed to not encouraging people to vote?
Well, I think they are. That's joy is they're getting the people who should be voting, you know, because I think there's a lot of people who are just casual voters, and I don't think they should be voting. I think they're casual voters, and I think they clog up the system. And sometimes you just need to clean it out. You know, you need to clean it out. And you need to, because anyone who's willing to go in front of someone with an AK-47 and say, this is what I believe in, they really believe that point, you know? If you're not willing to cross that line and be like, oh, I'm scared to be shot, well, then you shouldn't vote.
See, I would argue that needing the AK-47 shows that they actually don't feel that strongly about it because they're hiding behind a gun. If they showed up shirtless with 2 knives, just ready, like they're fucking Drax and Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe. I would say, okay, so I'll agree that not everyone should be allowed to vote, but I think that the people that are disqualified are maybe the ones that bring guns to voting. Because that's
but to see those people who be put off by the guns are people who are against the Second Amendment and they shouldn't be voting.
Oh no, I'm definitely pro Second Amendment. It's like it's the same thing where like I like the thing that I like about UFC is that we keep them in a cage. I like this idea that people with guns will shoot people with guns. I think that's very funny. I think that shooting an unarmed person should be a crime for life. But if it's an old school duel, I love Wyatt Earp as much as the last guy. Go get it.
But these people are sorry.
Oh, sorry, but this is sort of they're guarding the wrong things. I feel like.
What should they be guarding then?
Well, shouldn't they be making sure that shouldn't they be pointing at the voting booth as opposed to the voters if they're really pro-democracy, making sure that everyone gets to vote or else we'll fucking shoot you.
But you can't get to
you shouldn't vote.
Yeah, but you can't get get to the booth.
Yeah.
If I'm not protecting you going inside. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like you're one step ahead, they're one step in front. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like they're thinking about the big picture. And the big picture is that you can't even get to the booth if you've got a bunch of these other crazies trying to stop you voting, you know, and we've seen it throughout history. I've got the evidence right here.
You got it right there? Right.
I've got the evidence right here. I've seen the numbers and they point to my position.
Oh, wow. Those are strong numbers. I can't even imagine what they're counting, but.
They're counting bets. Don't worry about that. They are counting, good sir.
So do you think that it would be better if you had to fight someone before you vote? Like you have to defeat like a gauntlet voting system
I think
to
that
earn the right to vote.
I think that this is a good start, but I think there should be more. You know, I think that we shouldn't just stop at militias with AK-47s outside voting booths. You know, I think you know, it should start earlier than that. I think it should be, you know, militias at your schools. Yeah. You know, militias at your barbecue. To
what purpose? Is that who gets the biggest stake? Is that
protecting you know what the American dream is.
Okay. Hold on. We got a comment coming in from Twitch. It says voter apathy can be an issue, and these guys are big into voting. So I mean, it looks like you're swaying the public, buddy. It looks like
Because they are. They because one thing you can't say, because you look at them and you go, oh, they got AK-47s, they've got Glock on them, they got a Glock on their side, they're wearing body armor, they've got walkie-talkies. But one thing they do love is America, and I can't see them letting America fail. You know what I'm saying, though?
But which America? I feel like they love
The United
America.
States of America. The United States of America.
So not South America. They're not. No. They're not fighting for Peru.
No.
Okay,
cool. And they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's
but
got its own fight.
But you say movie America, but but movie America and real America are the same things. You know, because America is based on ideas.
Yeah.
And so are the movies. You know, so we can't distinguish the difference between Americas of the movie and the American real life, because it's been such an inspiration of art and culture that they're entwined.
That was a very confusing point.
Holy shit. I think Jamali just stumped bets. I just saw it happen.
I feel like in cartoons when someone just shoots a net gun at you. So it's not that I don't feel like I'm wrong. I don't know where to go with that. That was a lot of words. Well, very well argued.
Well, yeah, but you have no point to counteract it.
Yeah, no, I think as always, it's not about who's right. It's who argues best. And I'm in a fucking corner, so I concede. Well done. Bring your guns to the voting booths, guys.
I feel like I was in the pitch meeting when Jamali pitched "Hate Thy Neighbor."
Yeah.
He's like, "Listen, I'm gonna be an immigrant. I'm gonna go to America, and I'm gonna bore at the shit out of it. I'm gonna make racist look extra racist. In season 2, we're gonna go international." Jamali made me want to get a gun and go down and re-vote.
Let's all get guns. Let's
I
all
will
go
say
out
this,
and bring your gun to vote.
I don't know if it's making the news over there. Just really quick, Jamali, you took that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I think Chris even conceded that. The day my vote was accepted via absentee, I got a phone call from this company called Trump Your Vote. And they said that they were filing a class action in 3 states with the voting machine, whatever that is, whatever body, the physical embodiment of the addresses that, controls the voting. And they said that due to the current state of the laws, I am allowed to change my vote in person if I go to where I vote. And I could vote for Trump because, I quote, Biden said he is going to ban fracking, which he didn't say, right?
What?
But they said.
That so because of a policy position, you can change your legally binding
And
vote.
then an hour later,
they are fucking reaching.
And then an hour later on Facebook, which I check once a week, I got a video that announced Trump already won due to early voting.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
So
pretty wild.
So they want you to change your vote because
They
Biden said something that would actually be a good thing, but he actually hasn't said that good thing.
Yeah, well, because it was based on Pennsylvania is the one because I vote in Michigan, right?
Okay.
And that's also a battleground state. But they basically were assuming that last ditch effort, we're gonna. They assume that a Brooklyn vote going to Michigan
from voting.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, you didn't know the newest news, but it's pretty wild stuff. So
yeah, that's what they did. Did you watch the Narcos Mexico?
Was it Mexican? No.
That? Yeah, the Mexico.
No,
so that's how they stole an election in Mexico by doing that, where this revolutionary candidate was about to get out, and they caused voter apathy by saying that the early states, by just lying and saying that the early states had voted for the incumbent guy, and so nobody showed up and nothing changed.
Facebook put out a statement saying that they're gonna take the ad down, but they can't control the algorithm.
Yeah.
But anyways, round to Jamali Maddix. Well done, sir.
What a great company.
Jamali wants to move to Washington. He'd make a great racist American. He would be awesome. Come on,
yeah,
over,
no,
buddy.
I was quite uncomfortable how easy that came off my tongue.
It's really upsetting when you have to do that sometimes, right? And you're just like, it's so easy. Yeah.
But you ever
It's
see
really
a racist hit his stride? Like when you see a racist just sit in the character, you're like, oh, okay, this is the guy right now. It's like a drunk uncle at a Thanksgiving dinner.
That's the thing is lying is just easier.
It really is. Lying is really easy because the thing is your opinions are hard because sometimes you realize your opinions might be hypocritical or might be, you know what I'm saying? But to lie about it is so much easier because you have no attachment to it. So you're can
not
say anything.
At all. You're free as a bird. You just fucking fly.
And also lie enough, it becomes the truth. That's all you got to do. Look where we're at right now.
So that is, actually, so Sadaf got hers in. And so we're going to do a quick one of this, and then we're going to go on to the speed round. And this is she wanted us to argue about the opening of mummy tombs. Do you guys hear about all the like hundreds of unfound sarcophagi that they just discovered? And are
no, but
opening?
yeah.
It's a so basically, so I'll take the pro. You take the anti. So guys, if nothing else, I think what we need right now is we need a curse. We need The Rock to come up in sand form and just lay it all to waste. If nothing else, we need unity right now. And a giant mummy will scare enough of us that we'll finally come together. And then maybe we can actually solve some of the problems instead of fighting amongst ourselves.
I don't think we have the capabilities right now to fight a mystical mummy. I think, especially with COVID and the economy's been so ripped apart, I don't think we actually have any capabilities to come together and fight and to fight a mystical zombie. I think a mystical mummy, I think we'd be fucked.
But I think that what is the difference between a zombie and a mummy? I'm going to look that up. But
aren't mummies real?
Yeah, but not the ones that come to life, I don't think.
Get out of here.
So I would say that we never fight mummies in the movies with conventional arms. It's never like a gun that stops them. It's always an amulet that was found and another thing.
Yeah.
So basically,
clarification. What's an amulet?
It's like a fancy old necklace.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Walked into that one. Continue.
Always
amulets. Thank you, Judge White.
Yeah, so impartial. So there's always some amulet, and it's always found by an archaeologist. And so A, it'll bring us together because of the threat, and B, because an archaeologist saves it, it might make us trust in science, and then we can deal with COVID properly.
But you realize that, like in, as we've seen from, The Mummy, The Scorpion King Returns, these documentaries, that some evil Russian or Nazi will try and acquire the mummy for his own evil gain. So
but they always fail.
We don't know. Evil can win sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
But that's even better, because right now, if there are two groups that kind of, as countries, we need to be rallying against, it's Nazis and Russia. So really,
talking about America,
if they side, I mean the whole world right now. If we got Nazis and Russians on the side of this mummy that we're fighting, then that's a hard line that they're on the wrong side, and so it might sort of knock down a lot of the enthusiasm that you're seeing among elected officials and everything.
Do we have
that's two birds with one stone?
But do we have any archaeologists right now that are up for the job of this? I think that opening up this can of worms when we don't have the actual person ready, that if this shit goes to shit, we're going to need you to step in. We don't actually have that guy available.
How you're saying that there's not enough famous archaeologists?
Well, I don't know any.
Brendan Fraser in The Mummy was he was a scumbag. They're like Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's the what was it? Diamond in the Rough. That's the one that always saves it. And so, so I'd argue that the fact that we haven't heard of them means that they're better equipped, because they've just been doing the work. They're not concerned about fame.
But then, just talking about like to sort of put it onto sort of a broader idea of opening up the sarcophagus is, what happened to the old thing of just minding your business? Like, it was closed for a reason. They didn't close it in the hopes it will be opened. They closed it for a reason. So it shouldn't just remain closed just for the sheer fact that it's none of our business what's in there. And it's even opening it is not actually going to help anything.
Well, I think that opening it will unleash this curse, which is a good thing. I think curiosity is excellent. They say curiosity killed the cat, but I think that's nonsense. Curiosity, maybe someone murdered the cat for asking too many questions, but he didn't feel like it wasn't curiosity that killed him. It was someone with something to hide. So I think that opening boxes is always a good thing. Jack in the boxes, sometimes fun clowns pop out. Sometimes there's presents in boxes. Sometimes there's Gwyneth Paltrow's head. You never know what's in the box. And so it's important to experiment. And also, like I said, a curse is the best thing that can happen to us right now. This year has been so fucked from top to bottom that only a truly supernatural event will give us any sense of closure. Like, that's it, it's done.
But say if we open it and, the small chance that there isn't a curse, right? That minimal chance.
That's a really small chance. So is it even worth taking
a small chance? It's a small chance, but I think the small chance is, if we look at the Trump election, we need to talk about those things that we thought would never happen.
That's true.
And I think that we spend all that time, we get it from the ground, we put it somewhere, we get an old man with like a little set of glasses that goes, oh my God, and then we get a crowbar and we open it and it's just a bag of bones. That's a waste of time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we going to do with a bag of bones? It's just
then we study it and then maybe we don't die whatever fucking bone bag died of.
Who cares?
That's a medical breakthrough. That's good. You're saving more lives, specifically probably Egyptian lives. But if anything, I feel like they've been underrepresented. So, we need more.
But who cares about?
I don't know if Tamer's watching.
But, it's just and as well as it comes under an idea of property, because I doubt the people that are going to be opening it are Egyptians. It's going to be some harumphy guy from the British Museum.
They're doing a really good job. It's a all Egyptian crews that are doing it. They're keeping it local. They have cast off the oppressor. And they are opening up their own bags of bones now.
Well, that brings me to another point. I think it's a bad thing to give Egyptians jobs.
I didn't say they were getting paid. I said they're doing it. They're volunteering. Their grave robbing for profit is a problem, but grave robbing for passion is, a weekend.
Yeah. So really, it's just a passion project.
Yeah, that's it. The passion project that's going to unleash a demon that will unite us all. And
do you think it's a waste of crowbar, maybe?
What else are you going to use a crowbar for? Holding aloft during the purge?
Holding aloft during the purge.
I've seen quite a few of these Chris Betts live, been a part of it. I've never seen both sides come out racist at the end. This is amazing. This is just putting that out there. All right.
All right. Well, I guess that seems like a logical place to call it then.
It was pretty close. It was pretty close, and I thought Jamali had in the bag. But then Betts talked the bones that came up afterwards. They could solve more problems. You could find out what happens. And I didn't know. Clarification, please, Jamali. What's harumphy?
Harumphy is like an old man with like a monocle, and he goes, you know what I'm talking about? Like just like someone who's just like lofty.
All right.
And old.
Skeptical Michael Caine.
Yeah. Because always one of them guys who said we should open this case. Yes.
That was the life rap I threw you, but the Harumphy didn't get it done. I thought there was some mysticism in that, but I'm going to give it to Betts. He talked about, Betts got it. He had more to it.
All right, so that's the end of the first round. So we're going to go into the speed round now. If we can get the clock up on the screen, perfect. Thank you, Josh.
All right, and this is me with the generators.
Yeah, that's it. So those are just.
And am I going
random word generator?
Just pick out any random ones.
Pick out whatever you want. Jamali, do you want to be for or against whatever he's about to say?
Let me be. Be against.
Against. Okay, cool. So I'm for. And yeah, Max, if you can just mark down a point for everyone as we go. So Jamali, you saw how you go. You just make a quick comment. I make one, and then we go on to the next one.
Sweet. Do I start by being against? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're against everything. Yeah. So Max, you ready?
No, 1 second.
All right.
Okay, wait, thank God I had a notepad here. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So we're gonna start the clock. 1, 2, 3. Speed round. Max, go.
Paper.
Shit, it rips too easy.
I love paper because I fucking hate rocks. Next.
Sorry. Plaster. Yeah.
Your woo. Oh,
no, American plaster, not your fucking Band-Aids. Do real
plaster. What's American
plaster?
Oh, it's this shit. Like, we should be living in an open society. What you hiding?
I'm hiding all the fun sex I'm having with my wife. Get out of my room. Pro plaster.
Steel.
It's just
the element.
Oh, it's just, bamboo's way better.
Stop taking bamboo from the pandas. It's bad enough that they're not fucking. You don't want them to eat either. Pro steel.
Heaven.
It's like, who's going to be there that you want to see?
Yeah, no, actually, I got to give him that one. Next.
That's pretty good. Goat. Goat, like a goat.
Oh, yeah, lamb's a better meat. They're milk shit. Pointless animal.
Yeah, but that's what I like about, like, goats are so beautiful because they're the yin and yang of sheep, because you eat sheep, whereas goats eat everything. I think that's a beautiful balance, and you can't have one without the other.
Pedestrian.
Like you're trying to get to where you're going and everyone's in your way, you know? It's just, you know, they're an inconvenience. You know, they're stopping me riding my electric scooter.
It's important to, you know, slow down and really get time to consider why you hate this stranger. Too much, we just, you know, we scroll past a tweet and we don't really think about it. But when you've actually got to look at the back of their head for 2 blocks, it's, you know, I think it helps you build character.
Photocopy.
Oh, that's it. We hit 0. That's the end of this week.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you want the results?
Yeah. What do we got? So it was 2-1 for me going into this round.
Yeah.
So you guys tied 3-3.
Oh shit. Nice one.
On that one. So what's the score now?
So that means 5-4.
All right.
Yeah. Which argument stood out to you, man?
I mean, damn it. This is like when my friend has a really good set and they ask me which part of it, and I can't remember one of the bits, but I agree.
Who won the plaster round?
The plaster round was Jamali.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
You want to watch me fuck my wife, Max?
Is it
I
not?
do.
Yeah, we get it.
Is that what you want, bro? Huh? Is that what you want?
You and one other people. No, I'm not gonna say it out loud. You and a couple other groups are the only people I know. Couples are the only. You're the fucking exception to the rule. Everyone else is full of shit when they talk about happily married and happily fucking. I don't.
No, Beth's very happy.
Yeah, he's very, very, very lucky. Very, very good dude.
It's a very fair point.
Doesn't mean it's not annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, people are pretty mad about it.
Yeah. I've stood outside many a comedy club where I've been like, my wife's so awesome. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy. And then that goes into like a 4 a.m. me asking someone to marry me, and I wake up and be like, what the fuck am I talking about?
And then I wake up and there's a naked girl in my bedroom offering me water. I'm like, didn't Max have sex with you last night? She's like, yeah, you just seem thirsty. Weird. Max fucks weird ladies. Okay.
Well,
so
listen.
So we're gonna go on to the regrets round now. So Jamali, if you got anything that you regret that you want to get off your chest that I can assuage.
Yeah, I regret not going on like a boys' holiday to like Ayia Napa or Ibiza or Magaluf when I was 18.
That's no kind of regret. Why would you? What is it about that exactly that you regret? Because the idea of you there alone is hilarious.
Exactly, but I agree with that point. But I think there is a part of me that thinks there is a coming to age moment. Just what I'm saying though, and I feel like that they're good for coming to age moments. Sort of like, you know, what's that film where they go to look at the dead body?
Oh, Stand By Me.
I could have had a Stand By Me-esque trip, you know.
Well, you just got to go to the Lake District. You want to find a dead body? They're all over the place. You don't gotta go all the way to fucking Ibiza, get syphilis from a phone party.
But that's a story though, isn't it? Getting syphilis from a phone party. I didn't even fuck, but I got syphilis. Like that's a fun story. You
got stories though. Your story from Ibiza would have been, I got beat up by 8 guys in Ibiza because I hated it there and I made fun of them and I was too drunk to run away. That's your story from Ibiza.
That's a good story.
Like jack dudes just kicked your ass. There's no way you would have had a good time. You would have been reading the autobiography of Malcolm X next to the pool. While everyone else is putting their hands up to David Guetta, and it just would have been a fucking mess.
I feel like there's something about going Ayia Napa, getting a tribal tattoo, that this, and I think as well as it's a coming to moment thing where you realize that because I never did it, I realized I don't know if that wasn't for me, you know.
I think you know enough people that did it that you know that they're not for you. So if the people that did it aren't for you, then the experience wasn't for you. I know who you hang out with, and it's not them. I mean, well, there's Elliot, but other than that,
see, because that shows that there's a part of me in that.
No, I think there's a part of you that enjoys that it happens. I think that's a different thing. That's I don't think, because like there is that to me doesn't seem like a coming of age moment. You sound like it's like when people figure out who they are, but I would argue that what that is more is where people give up on what they were going to be. So it's like it's a fork in the road, but it's the decisions out of their hands because they're on ketamine. And so they end up going the wrong way. So I think that by not going that way, you had a choice to sort of become yourself, whereas you would have just fallen into being someone else. I have because I bartended for so long, I know a bunch of people that went to Ibiza for a week and ended up bartending there for 3 years because they just fell into a party. And
that sounds great.
Dude, I know, no, because you don't know where their lives are now.
Probably the same way we're doing.
yeah. Where's my life? Yeah, because if you say it's like a fork in the road, my life could have been ended up better. I could have been a club promoter now, but I'm not. What? I could have been a club promoter.
You could never be a club promoter, Jamali.
I could be come to the club
promoter.
You could never be a fucking club promoter.
I'll be great.
You don't have the patience to deal with mobsters. First of all, you wouldn't be able to deal with all the shit that they put you through. And also, young people don't like you like that.
He does wear a lot of Air Maxes, though. Maybe he could be a club. Sorry, I'm a judge.
I do wear a lot of Air Maxes, so maybe
that's club promoter shit.
No, I think that's like he could be like a DJ, sure, because like you're an entertainer for sure. I get that, but club promoter is a whole other thing. There's a level of schmooze that you can't do. You like to be straight up with people. And that gets you punched in the face as a club promoter.
I feel like I would look good in a tight shirt, though. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Like a muscle shirt.
Oh, you got time. You can do that. No problem, man. No one's holding you back. It'll change your vibe on stage. You got those rhinestone jeans on. Yeah.
I feel like someone should bring back Ed Hardy.
If anyone could, it's you. Is it back in the States already?
Yeah. Have you seen a Trump rally? They're running that shit hard, dude. Ed Hardy, True Religion. Dude, it never left. We're the nerds now.
Oh my god.
All
right. Max, what
you
do you
guys ready? I'm giving this to Jamali.
What?
The reason is that he's looking back saying, this is classic because I do it too. He's looking back saying I should have gone along just for the experience. Whereas Chris is talking from our age and our experience looking back as in, trust me, you wouldn't have liked it. It's almost always better to be experiential than to look back and be, like you're kind of hedging your bets as to even if you go and you don't like it, at least you went and tried. And that's the classic thing with getting older, because I don't have the personality to enjoy those club things or like an Ibiza thing, but I would have, I can understand the wanting to have at least gone through it and tried, because sometimes you're in a club and you dance to a song you don't even like because you're caught up in the moment, right?
Yeah, but that's you, Max. That's you. I've vivid memories of being hammered and you dancing your ass off to 21 Savage in a living room.
Dude, I just did that. That's not a moment. 21's the shit. Fucking free Kodak Black. Come on. Yeah, I'll get that one to Maddix for sure.
All right, fair enough.
Sweet.
All right. You got any other regrets, or should we move on?
Oh, we can move on.
All right, cool. So we're gonna go to the next round. Jamali's out here fucking achieving dreams, you guys. There's nothing. You can't fuck with this guy.
Nah, I really have that many regrets. I don't really even regret not going to Napa, to be honest with you. I would have hated it.
Yeah, you would have hated it, right? Exactly.
I would have hated it. All jokes aside, like this is like real Jamali talking. Oh, I would have fucking hated it. Yeah. I remember my mate who went, and he's not my friend now. And what he was telling me about it, he's going, it fucking sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying though? Like it really sounds fucking shit, man. Like I would have like I used to go to Amsterdam, and I think I had way more fun going to Amsterdam
completely.
And shit
and that like that argument that I made about like not doing it because you would have hated it. It's not about like not making mistakes and having experiences. It's about trying something that's genuinely new. Like there's no sense in going into something like that when you know it's going to be fucking terrible.
Yeah, no facts.
Go out and try something that you don't know.
And I was broke at 18. So how much of what I would have had to have done to save up to go there? That would have been like fucking 6 months of bullshit anyway.
Do you know what Bonnaroo is? Do you guys know what that is over there?
Yeah, the music festival.
Yeah, it's fucking god awful. I just remember hearing a story about it when I was younger. My friends that went, they're like, "Dude, we had to wait for like 8 hours to piss."
Jesus Christ!
And then they got stuck in there. I'm not a music festival person.
I love music festivals, but they're not for the faint of heart. So we got a comment here from Baldy3 on Twitch, who says, I guess this is a story of him going to Magaluf. It says 18-year-old lads, holiday in Magaluf. 4 of us got throat infections. Gross.
What?
Gross. What on earth were you doing? One got run over.
I can take a guess.
Yeah. One got run over. Another ended up in the hospital dehydrated. Classic. That makes sense.
Who goes to the hospital for dehydration?
That's people dancing on pills, man. That's
But I forgot that. I say the cure for that is way too easy. It's just sip water.
Yeah, but if you're gurning that hard, there's no hole for it to go in. That's the
gurning. You guys have good verbs for drugs over there. Chisel.
And another got cavity searched on the way home. And then it just says the worst. So if anyone was wondering if they should go to Magaluf, I feel like that's not even an outlier experience. That feels like it's everyone's time there. It's just whether or not you love that story or you fucking are.
Sounds like going to Dubai.
Person. Yeah, Dubai was weird. When I was there, I was there just before lockdown, and it felt like the end of a party.
Oh yeah. It kind of felt like you know when you get to the party and it's a little bit too late and people have already done all the coke and it's just a little bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. They're just kind of standing around in the kitchen and they're not sure, they're not ready to leave, but they don't know what to do there.
Yeah. And they're happy to see you, but they're kind of like,
you missed it.
Yeah, you kind of, you know.
Yeah. It was actually kind of sad. I always thought that the slavery part would bum me out, which it did, but also just the people, even the rich people aren't having fun. So what's the point?
Yeah. Dubai's a weird place, man.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go into the second speed round. Max, you got the stuff?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Cool. And Jamali, you want to be against again or you want to be for this time?
I'll be for.
Cool. Good man. Variation. So we get 2 minutes up. Cool. We're going to start the speed round. 1, 2, 3. Speed round.
Modernize.
So modernization. Oh, Jamali, go for it.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was on second. Sorry. Everything needs to progress. You know, if it doesn't progress, it dies.
I think that if things progress too much, then they start. That's a mutation, and we tried to kill the X-Men for a reason.
Experience.
Yeah, I mean, what's a life without experience? Then it's just you might as well be in a vegetative state.
I'd say that experience makes you arrogant. So if you really want to stay like curious and beautiful, then just don't experience anything because you can't become cynical.
Salesman.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to buy stuff, and a good salesman will make you feel like a good person for buying it.
Fuck salesman. What I want is offerman. I want someone that's here to barter. I don't.
Nick Offerman.
Yeah, Nick Offerman. He's got it going on. Next.
Scatter.
I mean, there's nothing better than, if you're going to run away from the police, it's better to go separately and scatter as opposed to, all clump into one.
See, I think that it's better to become one and then attack the police. I think that's your problem. It's the flight. Attack as a unit. Next.
Banquets.
I mean, there's nothing better than overeating, and I think there's nothing wrong with a bit of showmanship.
Banquets always end in that weird, like Victorian Keira Knightley shitty dancing with fiddles around. So fuck banquets.
Biographies.
I mean, there's nothing better than having an in-depth look into someone's life that you didn't really care about before.
If I wanted to be lied to, I'd watch porn.
Damn, that's all right. Hours.
Oh no, that's it. Sorry, 2 minutes is up. That's the end of the speed round. Sorry about that.
Dude, I didn't plan this shit, but you guys tied again 3-3.
Oh shit!
It was Jamali looking ahead, but Chris got him back on those. I was very impressed with the scatter one though, Jamali. I would have given you 5 points on that if I could have.
Oh, thank you.
Strong. I feel like Max has run away from a lot of cops. So
that's it. I feel like Max has skated away from a lot of cops.
Yeah.
They could just hear the rumble of his trucks going off in the distance.
Yeah. It happens.
All right.
Yeah, 3 on that one. What's your score at?
So right now, I mean, I think we're tied because he won the regrets round. So we're neck and neck going into the last round.
Cool.
All right. So this one is judges round. So Judge Max, you get to pick a topic. I don't know what it is. Jamali doesn't know what it is. So Jamali, do you want to be for or against whatever Max is about to say?
Let me be against.
Against. All right. So Max, what am I supporting?
Apartheid.
Damn.
I think that's where we're going anyway. So I want to preface it for my two close friends.
All right. So, listen, apartheid gets a bad rap. There's a lot of bad press about it, but people don't see what it really offered, which is apartheid created communities that were immune to gentrification. So one of the big problems in Western society right now is that white people were moving into historically black neighborhoods and sort of ruining it. But thanks to apartheid, you didn't have to worry about that. And you could still go to all the restaurants that you would normally go to. You could live in your ancestral home. And, really, that's a protection that they provided for black people that, more countries should look into.
But when you say gentrified, or when you say it created protection for the black communities, it was that black people lived in slums. Like if we look at South Africa, it's black people lived in the slums while white people lived in the best bit. So it wasn't actually protecting black people, it was just keeping them in subjugation.
No, see, that's what black people wanted everyone to think, so that no one would move to their neighborhoods. That's how every now and then they would carjack somebody just to be like, don't stay here, it's fucking scary, and then they go and have fucking brunch. It was really actually really nice.
Come out.
Yeah, that's it. And then it was all canes.
So it was like the way to. But don't you think that if we have an apartheid state, that the gene pools will be too small? So if you just lived in a very small community of people that were racially homogenous to you, you would end up fucking your cousin.
I don't know. It works in Monaco.
Yeah, people.
Monaco's a city. They just.
Yeah, but I don't think it's not apartheid. Like they have people with different ethnic backgrounds moving in and sort of fucking the people, because those people have to commute out of work. Unless they work in a casino, there's no other work there.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I think that's what you're talking about is purification of a bloodline. It's like distilling it down to its most beautiful facets. So it's like a good vodka.
Like when you say
the more times you distill it, the more times you work through that incest loop, the better it becomes, and the stronger it becomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you said the stronger it becomes, you really look like Enoch Powell.
Yeah.
Stronger.
Yeah, I accidentally, very accidentally, this. If any clip is going to be the one that's going to ruin me, it's going to be this one.
It really will. And I won't defend you.
You even had that. Donald Trump Jr.
Talking shit. But you see, with apartheid though, you could just see in terms of just like when we look at South Africa, people were so disgusted by it that they actually started boycotting it. So wouldn't it fuck up the economy anyway?
But that was jealousy.
That was jealousy.
That was jealousy. That was let us in. It's like that Eric Andre meme. Let me in. It's that. That's what they wanted. And the black people were like, no, we got a good thing going here. It was Wakanda, basically. That's what apartheid was. It was Wakanda.
No, but there's no
hiding in slums with like a projector, but it was actually really beautiful, and they didn't want anyone to know. And then someone found out, and they were like, we got to boycott this shit. It's not fair that these black people are hiding this majestic, futuristic world from us. So again, that's not really apartheid's fault. That's the black people's fault, is for not sharing.
It's black people's fault
for not sharing their
but like Mark. If wouldn't it just make it more difficult as well for like people just to go to the beach? Because if you have like separate beaches, and say if you have, you just want to go to a particular beach for a particular reason, it's going to be too much bureaucracy to go anywhere.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can't have everything you want. You want to go to a magical black beach? Too bad, Whitey. Pack it up, honky. You got to stay at your shit beach with your.
Yeah. So what was the white people living like during this apartheid?
I mean, they thought they had it good, but it's like how people in the Middle Ages thought they had it good. It's like they had no concept of how good black people were living in apartheid, and so it was like it didn't even occur to them to live that well.
So what happened to all of this Wakanda that after the apartheid ended? Like, what happened to it?
They just moved it.
They moved it to where?
They moved it. I don't know. They won't tell me. I thought you might know. They won't fucking tell me. I asked Luis Agola. He wouldn't tell me.
He wouldn't tell me. But do you think that if we sort of had no apartheid, that sort of efforts of Nelson Mandela would go would be a waste of time after he spent 30 years in prison.
Yeah, I feel like that the 27 years on Robbins Island were already a waste of time. I would say that's his time could have been used a lot better.
So do you think if you think that black people sort of were hiding it, and they actually wanted the apartheid, are you telling me that Nelson Mandela? I've
got the numbers.
Yeah, so you got the numbers.
Yeah, I've got the numbers.
So are you, and that's fair, and I'm sure you have the numbers. But are you then telling me that Nelson Mandela is a bad person? Is that your words, that Nelson Mandela is a bad person?
Yeah, Nelson Mandela turned against his own, and he was trying.
Are you saying that he's
Nelson Mandela he's a traitor, and what he should have done is held the line. But he just couldn't. He was like, what's his name in Black Panther? Michael B. Jordan's
Morgan
Freeman.
Killmonger.
Killmonger. Yeah, he was like Killmonger. He wanted to bring it down. He didn't understand that secrecy was the key, and so he thought that the best way to do it was to sort of join the cultures. And he thought that then white people could enjoy the bounty that black people under apartheid had with a futuristic wonderland.
So isn't that like a good thing though? They wanted people to sort of enjoy it equally, as opposed to, because if you're going to have two separate societies, there is going to be there's always going to be some type of financial division, So who decides which one is the good side, which one's the bad side?
It's not like the white people were living poorly. The black people were very generous in how much they allowed the white people to live according to their primitive ways. Mm-hmm. And so it's like it was like that movie. What's that movie where, or the book where all the people on the ground think that the people underneath are slaves, but actually the people underneath are breeding the people on the ground to eat them. That's what apartheid was.
Is it that book?
There's a book. I can't remember what it's called.
It sounds like a good book.
It's a pretty good book. But that's what apartheid was this Wakanda culture. Convinced the white people that they were the oppressors and not the victims. And so they were pretty happy with it. They gave him a good life, but not Wakanda life, obviously. And now they've moved, and so it's even worse because they might have become one with South Africa, but now that they've left, it's now it's corrupt and a problem.
But as a white person, aren't you upset that the white people had it so bad in South Africa?
I'm happy for the generosity of the black people. I think it's so nice that they let them live the way they did. They didn't have to give them those big houses, tracts of land, supposed power. I think they were just rulers, and I'm really honored that they were given that power.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, great.
All right. So is Jamali gonna? Okay, now Jamali, you have to go now. Instead of punching it apart.
What?
I'm gonna need like a succinct line of logic.
I think he just gave up. So I
haven't given up. That's
what I'm saying. We need to stop where Chris's point is, because we went straight to cross examinations and we didn't do your opening argument.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I did think apartheid, and I think what Chris is saying about the secret society of black people is total bollocks. What? And I think it never happened. I think evidence has the evidence I have here sort of really contradicts that. And I just think that if we don't, and as well as all the things we're going to miss out on, if there was an apartheid, I wouldn't exist. And I think that's a strong point for having anti-apartheid is you get sort of beautiful brown-skinned people like myself, and all the other sort of mixed people that exist. Bob Marley. You wouldn't have sweet reggae tunes and all these types of things.
So are you saying that people who are not mixed are somehow less than you, Jamali? You're Louis Anderson.
No.
Chris Rocks, is that what you're saying? Is that
100% not? But I'm saying
it's worse to just have black people.
I think that when we all exist together, I think that's what makes us stronger, And I think it's kind of, it's and I think as well as when you have just one race of people all bundled up together, it just doesn't let culture grow. I mean, if Betts was left and his people were left to his own society, I think they would stop at the bagpipe. I don't think they would ever evolve from that.
You're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of the bagpipe, no.
How do you improve on it? How do you even evolve out of it?
You fusion it with hip hop.
And with
an apartheid, you can't fusion anything, can you?
No, but that's what killed all the vines in France. Was they tried to fuse? Have you ever heard of phylloxera? Phylloxera was this plague that happened to French wine in the early 1900s that killed everything. Might have been 1800s. Killed all the vines because what they tried to do was fuse the French and American ones, and it gave us this. So all French wine, all brandy, tastes completely different now than it did before.
It tastes better.
We'll never know because we are not rich enough to buy pre-phylloxera cognac, but it's out there. If anyone wants to find it.
I've tried it.
Have you tried it?
I've actually tried it.
I think you're a liar.
I tried it, and when I tried it, I was with a Chinese man, a black man, and a white man, and we all
see. Okay, so
we tried them both, and what we did was we tried it both, and we tried the pre one, and we were like, "Oh, this is a bit," and then we tried the post one, and we went, and we all looked at each other, and we all had a tear, and we said, "Unity."
I think Jamali just presented a double-blind placebo test. That's impressed by that.
So I would say that's. I can't believe you accused me of my magical apartheid community being a lie, and then clearly lie about drinking your pre-phylloxera cognac. That's outrageous.
But what's more ridiculous is the fact that you think that they had technology to the point of having a Wakanda and hiding it, or the fact that I was hanging out in a free society drinking a legal beverage.
That definitely that. I would, but I would say that part of what made that moment so special for you was because you knew that it wasn't always possible. So the temporary denial of people being able to mix actually makes the mixing worth more. And so if there wasn't the threat of that separation, then you might not appreciate the moment that you had with your multicultural friends. And so, in that way, apartheid actually adds value to the life that you get to live because you don't have to live that life.
I feel that we could have got to that point without the struggle beforehand. I think that sort of idea of pressure makes diamonds isn't necessarily true. And I think that our natural essence of human beings and wanting to connect would have been stronger. And I think that's why the apartheid really fell, was because that connection sort of broke down between the barriers.
I think it was jealousy. I'm on record as saying it was jealousy. All right, we'll call that there. Max, what are you saying?
Close, both of you. I mean, you open yourself up, Chris, to a lot of cross-examination during your portion of it. And
I don't know how. I thought I made an airtight case.
No, I'm sorry. No, well, in your mind it was airtight, but Jamali was kind of getting in there. And I think that and that alone, when he took his argument, I just think the momentum alone, I'm going to have to give it to Jamali.
Yes, please.
I had to. I mean, I'm sorry you were unable to prove that apartheid is a good idea. It's very obvious and easy.
Just for anyone watching, I am against apartheid. I said it there. I fucking said it.
Yeah,
I don't care who knows.
You know what we spoke about in the Hawksmoor.
I do want to see that the photo of Jamali tasting that fine cognac though in the room. I want to see the actual surveillance camera of that amazing taste testing.
All right, that's the game. I can't believe I lost, although I can believe that I wasn't able to defend apartheid. So fair enough.
That was great.
That's a good thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. There's some arguments where I'm like, oh, good, I lost. Like I won a few in Edinburgh where I was like, you guys really should have pulled this out. I can't believe that I won this argument. Like,
I mean, it was interesting how you were saying though. I will say the base logic on you keep things homogenous and then creating this kind of like vibe. It's a good line of logic. It just
the gentrification was a good line of logic. It really stumped me.
Yeah, it was good there. It was good there.
I should have gone deeper into that as opposed to the Wakanda-esque.
Yeah, the Wakanda theory kind of gave the holes in it.
Yeah, I really sort of went off on a bad tangent there.
I think if you would have stayed in that line, you would have fared better to once again defend apartheid, as you always say after a few drinks.
Cool. Yeah. This was great. Thanks for playing, guys. Congratulations, Jamali, on your win. Well done. Before we go, everyone that's watching, follow Jamali and Max on everything. Have you guys got anything that you want to plug? Any projects that you're working on now?
I've got one thing I want to plug. I'm going to start a podcast soon with my friend, and we're recording it from him in prison.
Nice.
And so we're going to be doing that. It's going to be kind of sporadic, but that should be done. That should be out in like late November, December.
Cool. Do you know what it's going to be called?
We haven't decided yet.
Okay, cool. Follow
Maybe
Jamali. Is it just at Jamali or at Jamali Maddix?
Yeah, at Jamali Maddix on all forums.
Nice one. Cool. So definitely follow that. That sounds great. What about you, Max?
2 weeks from now, starting the video podcast. So that's what we're sitting in the kind of partial studio for right now. But it'll be Max White Presents. We'll be back, but with video. And first guest is going to be Devon Rodriguez, who's a street artist here from South Bronx, fine artist, who's like really interesting kid. Yeah, so that'll be in 2 weeks. We're starting, and it'll be episodes come out on Thursday, and get to see the rest of the whole studio, and it should be really fun. So it'll be Max White Presents on all platforms.
Nice. That sounds great. Cool.
Great.
As for me, I'm going to be. This is a podcast now. I've got it launched. It's almost on all the platforms. So if you follow, it's called Chris Betts Versus. So give that a listen and subscribe and rate it. Sign up to my YouTube page or my Twitch page, because I'm going to be doing this every week. 3 weeks out of the month, I'm going to be doing it with comics like this. And then 1 week, there's going to be a show where you can buy tickets and you get to argue with me as the audience. They're all live streamed. You can, if you want exclusive content, like we're going to record an extra episode where we sort of talk about the show, do a quick interview right after this. If you want access to that, you can sign up to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Mr. Chris Betts. That's MR and then my name. Follow me at Mr. Chris Betts on Twitter and Instagram. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks again for playing, guys. I will see you guys next week. Take care.
Great.
You guys.
Bye.